So happy Mother's Day to all of us, each and every one of us. So this month we're planting seeds, seeds that will be the harvest for a new humanity. So this is a wide and interesting way of celebrating Mother's Day that I love. So a whole new world is what we are right now in the middle of creating. And it sounds like a pretty big order, because it kind of is, but it happens one person, one consciousness at a time. But that's why we're here on this planet Earth. I don't mean just in this room. I mean on this planet Earth. We are here for a particular reason. And so we're standing at the precipice of something that is really pretty big. And I don't know about you, but I feel this in my consciousness, in my energy field. The energies around the planet are speeding up, so that there's an evolutionary jump in consciousness that is taking place at this very moment. And we can either plant seeds, we have this choice, plant seeds that they play a part in hastening the jump and aiding it in being smoother and more grace-filled, or we can plant the seeds on thoughts that prolong the chaos before the brilliance. Because the brilliance is coming. I can feel it, and I think a lot of us can. And remember, this is an adage from the I Ching. Before the beginning of great brilliance, there must be chaos. We've heard that before, but that's what it feels like is taking place in every aspect of our lives, perhaps. And I'll tell you right now, if this isn't chaos taking place on our planet, I just don't know what is. But it is the beginning of a major shift. We just have to remember to stay aligned to that infinite flow of the divine energy of God, of whatever you want to call this energy. I call it a divine energy that knows all, that is all, that has created all out of its own goodness, its own goodness. There is so much going on right now at the same time. You can see the shift in our financial institutions, in our political institutions, and just about in families. Bring it down to a smaller level, into our own selves. I mean, this last year, there's been a lot of, I would think, a lot of self-reflection for a lot of people of prioritizing what's important, what's not important anymore to me. So there's a lot going on. But the one thing I truly know is that the spiritual teachings that we have here have helped me stay grounded and centered and knowing that the highest good is always unfolding. I truly believe that, even when it doesn't look that way. That's the chaos before the brilliance. These truths have been around forever because they cannot be altered, changed, damaged, or destroyed in any way. These are the divine truths that I'm speaking about. And so we stay connected this way. We stay connected with our own understanding of our spirituality and our connection to this great I am. And that's how we strengthen our faith. We rise above the conditions. Do not let the conditions submerge us into that which is going to change anyway. We rise above it. And we go through it. We're having this human experience, so we have these different experiences, and at the same time, we can know that there is something to be learned from every single experience that we have. So it doesn't mean we're not going to feel anxiety, but we can know that peace and right thinking are always available to us. So, my friends, back to our topic. This is Mother's Day, and we're going to celebrate motherhood on this special day. Let me just move this. On this day of Mother's Day, we celebrate motherhood, and it is my desire that we call forth this divine feminine energy, and realizing that this is a healing energy. And this healing energy of the divine feminine, which is in all people and all things, is needed to take us forward in our evolutionary journey. And that energy is available to us and through us and as us. Whether we're male or female, and if you're familiar with the science of mind teachings, there is both male and female energy in all life. So we're talking today about the divine feminine. This energy is not gender specific. It is not. But it is and on Father's Day we have that divine healing masculine energy that we celebrate here. So we celebrate them both because we have them both within us. It's the yin and the yang, it's the balance. There is no gender in God. I can't say that enough. In fact, I love saying that. There is no gender in God. It's just this beautiful creative energy. So the origins of Mother's Day are varied, but they go back to the ancient history, and Mother's Day itself stems at least in parts from the efforts of a woman named Julia Ward Howe, and she was actually the author of the words to the battle hymn of the Republic. She's a pretty interesting woman who came up with the idea of an International Mother's Day in 1872. And the point about this is that she did not create this day to honor mothers. But behind this day, it was, in her mind, to celebrate peace. She was a peace activist coming out of the Civil War. Marianne Williamson wrote about her in her book. This is not for Mother's Day. She said, Mother's Day started when mothers from the South who'd lost their sons during the Civil War joined with mothers from the North who also lost their sons, trying to inspire women of the world to stop war altogether. You can see that's not happening, but we're going to keep on keeping on, right? We're going to keep on holding that. So back to Marianne Williamson. She says, let's make Mother's Day when we can all make a stand for peace, beginning with where we stand within ourselves, right? Because we must have that peace within ourselves before we can bring it out into the world. So where do we stand? Where do we stand in ourselves? Have we done that introspection? Have we done that? Are we experiencing the peace of the divine within us? It brings great peace. That's the faith. The more we believe that this infinite loving presence is all part of who we are, and that we cultivate that nice relationship with it, that's when we can move forward in that happiness, in that fulfillment, in that peace we talk about. So how can aspects of a divine feminine energy support that? Well, first we might ask, what is divine feminine energy anyway? Thousands upon thousands of pages have been written, believe it or not, about divine feminine. Really, exploring this concept. And there are various archetypes of the divine feminine. So I want to quote from Dr. Ernest Holmes, who wrote in The Science of Mind. This is in the glossary of the book. It's defined as the feminine principle, as the universal soul in people. It is the subconscious intelligence. The universal soul has been called the womb of nature and the Holy Mother because it is receptive to spirit. This is all Holmes. And it is impregnated with divine ideas. It gives birth to the idea of spirit and is therefore the feminine principle of nature. And if you have taken our foundation class and know the creative process, you would understand that that word, the divine feminine or the divine principle, is in the middle. This is our Science of Mind, by the way, symbol without the people in the middle. That's us. We're all in the middle. But this circle is all God, and this top part is where the ideas and and the intentions come from. This middle part is the soul. It is that which receives the ideas of the infinite mind, of the divine. And we do this ourselves through our subconscious mind. So we are creating, that's how we create. We take foundations class if you haven't taken it, because it really gets into the creative process, which is an amazing empowerment tool to get through life, because it's how life works. It truly is. So that soul part is impregnated by ideas. Like the plant, the seed goes into the soil and becomes the plant. So the divine feminine, if you will, is that soil. It's receptive. It receives and it lets go. And that becomes the effect. So we talk about healing here. And there's a real paradox in healing. In New Thought, we say there's nothing to be healed, only the perfection of God to be revealed, right? But it certainly feels like things need to be healed at certain times. And it serves us to go about healing in a way that makes sense and feels right to us. And I don't know about you, but being, like for the last year, and even now, people are still isolating. They're not coming, as you can see, they're not coming out in crowds. And this is not even a crowd. I mean, we have social distancing going on, but in the last year, and over a year now, we've had to really look at relationships. A lot of people have been closed in with one or two other people. And that's been interesting right there. Lessons to be learned through relationships always, right? And most of all, it's the lesson we learn about ourselves. That is the greatest gift we can give, if we can really understand who and what we are. Anyway, back to this. So remember that all relationships, and this is going to lead up to the mother part of Mother's Day, are and will always be an inside job. Only we can do the work on us. So I ask you, where is your heart? Is there a need for a healing? Where is the hurt, the pain, the anger, the frustration, fear, upset? Where are you not at peace in your life? And could we lay that burden, whatever it is, could we lay that burden on the altar of the divine feminine to let it be healed here, today? Because that's what I want us to do. I'm sure that we each have a memory of a deep and profound healing experience of love, of the divine feminine. It may or may not have come from our mothers. Some mothers were able to do that, others were not. But I'm sure that we've each been through or have learned about this love from a memory, where we felt so completely embraced by love and caring, support and compassion and protection that we just melded into it. And perhaps that didn't come from our mothers, but maybe from a friend, a lover, a parent of choice, a father, another relative, a total stranger. It can take place any time in our lives, even in the present moment. Maybe not in our childhood. So this is the healing work I want us to do today. For myself, I know that most of my profound and heart-touching healings have come through my family of choice. Not through the family of origin, but the people I surround myself with. That's where the healing has taken place. And there is really a tremendous healing that can take place through the people whose energy field that you have selected to be in your life. And some of these are beautiful relationships. And if they're not, I would suggest that you just purge yourself of them, because you sure can. Any negativity or any of that, gone. So I want us to go back, and if we have not felt this feeling of love and inclusivity, just imagine it in your mind right here, right now. We're going to do a little process. And I invite you to close your eyes and just bring to mind that feeling of just being safe and loved and feeling protected. Just bring that into your mind. So in this moment, become that experience. Let it fill your body. Drink in this moment, which is truly filled with the energy of that divine feminine, that loving presence. And now bring whatever place in your heart that is in need of a healing to this feeling, to this mental experience that we are having. And simply place it on the altar of love in this experience and watch it dissolve in the fire of the divine. Just take a breath on that. Each of you who are a part of the service here today, whether you're with us in person or you're on the video, to just feel the love energy that we are feeling in this room, in this space, knowing that this is the loving energy of the divine feminine, this energy of absolute love. And each and every one of us is truly loved. Right here, right now, unconditionally. There are no conditions to true divine love. So just breathe that in, yeah. Bring ourselves back into this place, if you're wandering, and just let's talk about mothers for a moment. Mothers come in all shapes and sizes, right? Some are the embodiment of the divine feminine, and some not so much. It's life. And most are somewhere in between. None of them were perfect. Most of them made mistakes, but then who among us have not made mistakes? And we each have our own relationship with our mother, whether they're in body or not. We still have that relationship. Regardless of our relationship with our mothers, there is this priceless gift that she gave us. Priceless, beyond words. She was God's vessel through which we entered this world. We are born through this vessel that we call our mother. So today we can bring a quality of the divine feminine into play around our mothers as we offer words of gratitude and thanksgiving for giving us life. If we did not have that loving, wonderful Donna Reed mother, we can at least be grateful. Some of us did, I hear. But we can at least be grateful for the gift of life that we have been given. Because that is for sure. We have been given the gift of life. We give thanks for this life, which we came to live. And the mothers we chose to enter the world through. Let us open our hearts and let love be the guide. Let it be the guide to each and every one of us. And bless us on this day and every day as we celebrate today the birthing of a new way of being. I want to do a little quick treatment right here, a prayer, an affirmative prayer. So let's just join together here. Just take a nice deep breath. Move into this atmosphere that is, this room, this space is filled with that loving energy. So we move forward in our lives with this power to know that we are a loving presence. We are the healing agent for our own selves and for those who we come in contact with. And I know that there is a powerful good that is always creating out of its very nature this powerful, loving energy that fills each and every person when we open, when we allow it. This is the energy of the divine, and it is filled with divine guidance, with an energy of clarity, of peace, of love, of fulfillment. And so as each and every one of us steps into this matrix, this alignment, this field of unity, of oneness, we feel that loving energy move us forward, guide us into peaceful interactions and peaceful experiences. And we declare right here and right now that being children of the divine, creations of this one energetic stuff, this loving force, that we have the power within us to move forward in our lives in absolute fulfillment, in peace, and in love, a love that is beyond our comprehension. This is the divine love of God that leads us forward, that colors every experience, that allows us to be the best we can be. I give thanks for knowing that there is a power beyond this human realm that we align with because we are part of it. I give thanks for this power that comes from knowing we can choose our own experiences and reactions and responses to everything. But this is the power of choice, the power of being human, and the power of our own divinity coming forth. I am so grateful to know this. And as we move forward in our lives, we are each one blessed with this knowing, with the knowing that we are in control of our own lives, with the knowing that we can change any condition with one thought. And we celebrate today our birth. On this Mother's Day, we celebrate the birth of who we are, because we are beautiful beings of light. I am so grateful to know this, and to know that this word is truth spoken. I release it into the law of universal mind, where this word is made manifest in each one's life as a life of peace, of well-being, and of right thinking. And so it is.
So it is.